Hi, I'm BoredGamer. I hope blah, 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 blah. That's how the day stream's going to be. It's going to be me making strange sounds into the microphone. That's how I talk about Starsetters now. Hope you are doing well. Hope everyone is okay. I hope you are having a happy mid to late February. We are on the road to Pyro, whatever that means. We've seen things like the Apollo get added to the roadmap, which is cool. CIG are attempting to have a relatively big first half of 2022 with that cargo refactor, with salvage, things like that. 3.17 is still looking moderately meaty as a patch at the moment, which is good. We should add more, but maybe it will have more. Maybe it will have a reasonable amount more. I'm doing reasonably well. I've put on a little bit of weight. I'm sort of worried about that because I don't want to put on weight. I want to lose weight. Going back up. Now, I'm not thinner than I was before still, but it's a slippery slope. And one of the things that's led to the slippery slope over the last week is delicious food. So ice cream and Belgian waffles. So sugar. I mean, I've been naughty and having sugar, and I normally don't have sugar. And I was like, I want some sugar. And Lost Ark. I've been playing Lost Ark, and that game is relatively addictive. It's sort of like someone got Diablo 3 and WarioWare and chucked them at each other. It's loads of party games. It's Mario Party and Diablo 3 crossbred. And it's a bit silly, and I find it quite fun. Me and a load of my mates are playing it on the Inanna server in Europe, which appears to be the least populated server, which is actually quite nice. But yeah, so I've been playing a load of Lost Ark, and that's really the only game I've been playing other than Star Citizen recently. Um, but yeah, so Star Citizen, load of events for Star Citizen going on. Oh, and just so you know, if you'd like to ask a question during the stream, I suspect most of you have been here before, but if you put question in brackets, I'll at some point try and grab it from the chat and read it. BG Rocks, wish could watch live, stuck in office. You can still watch in your office. I'm watching, and I'm at work. Thank you very much, Seawolf. Very much appreciated for the monies. It helps fund me get fatter, I suppose. I mean, oh, so straight after this stream, I'm gonna phone the venue that I've got planned for my Big Bar Citizen. My Bar Citizen, hopefully Big Bar Citizen, on the 18th of June is when I'm sort of planning it, to see if they can confirm or deny whether I've got the venue booked. And once that's happened, I'll put more details up about it. If they can't confirm, then I'll look elsewhere. But it's going to be in Manchester, June 18th, which is a Saturday. I'm trying to get CIG employees down, and devs and content creators and anyone else that will turn up. I think we're going to charge a nominal fee of like a couple of £1 for tickets, just so that there's a limited amount that the venue can sort of hold. So sort of make sure that that's kept. I might sell most of the tickets, and then give some away free to Clan Imperium, so devs come down for free, and then hold a few tickets in reserve so other people can buy them for friends, sort of like last minute. It's probably what I'll do. So it would be nominal fee, as low as I can have on one of those ticketing sites, probably. But yes, I hope everyone's good. I'm sure you are. Maybe you're not. I don't know. I have the ultimate question. What is the answer to life, universe, and everything in it? Squadron 42. Misquoting books, always. That's what I do. I'm dyslexic. When I'm playing games like Lost Ark and stuff, we don't really read into how to play it or anything like that. So we're sort of learning as we go along, and someone will say, "Oh, where did you find this?" Because there's a load of collection stuff. There's a load of like finding hidden secrets in it, and you want that because everyone will want to like fill out their sticker book, which gives you lots of extra bonuses and things. Your adventurer's tome. So Zina asked me, "Well, where did you find that?" And I go, "Oh, it's in here with this thing, and there's some rock columns nearby, and I think it's to the south of the map ish, to the right. I think there was a fountain, and I can't really remember. I don't remember the sort of hard facts of it unless I've noted it down, unless I've researched it. And so I'm pretty bad at explaining sort of rough ideas to people in terms of like locations and maps and things like that. Stuff that you should have hard data for. If I'm unprepared, I'm sort of like, I reckon it's about this. Think it's dyslexia. Can you confirm that you will be live streaming the event? I cannot confirm that. I will look at potentially doing that. I do have the equipment for it. So I can't confirm that I'll be live streaming the event, but I will be looking to live stream the event. So at the moment, obviously there's a free fly going on in Star Citizen, so people can try the game for free until for a little while, and then but anyone can also try all the free fly ships. So it doesn't matter if you're new or not, you can try those free fly ships, which are the Cutlass Black, Nomad, 100 Eye, Aurora MR, and Prospector. Bam! Who needs notes? Not me. Not old attractive board gamer. Can you upload the AMAs? I listen to them as podcast at work. Yes, I try to when I remember. Often I forget. Last AMA was 3 weeks ago. I'll get the others up. Apologies, Travel the Map. Help, my wife has insisted on me taking her to IKEA in Bristol. Jag, enjoy it. Just make puns out of everything you see. Make her, yeah, so that you're really enjoying it. Maybe she's not enjoying it so much, but you're really enjoying it, yeah? So that she never asks you to take her again. Bam. Easy game. Calculate the amount of hours it takes from when you leave to when you get back and try and reimburse. Yes, that is the smart way of doing it. Thank you very much, Sketch Therapy, Summer Yeti, for being here, but for doing moddy roos. You guys are awesome. I just appreciate you just randomly, I say randomly, just immediately being here. So what event am I talking about? So I was talking about, I'm going to be running a big Barcedison up in Manchester, is the idea, June 18th. So Barcedison back has come down, a big social, trying to get a load of devs there, a load of content creators there as well. So just a nice, chill meet-up with alcohol and food for the whole day. What else we got here? Is salvage still set for 3.18? Yes, with the cargo factor. It is still set for then currently, yes. 3.18 is looking pretty good, and the sort of roadmap reports we've seen from Cloud Imperium support that. Watched a video of yours earlier, so you honestly think even with the increase in devs studio space, it would take 5 years to see Star Citizen in beta? Yes. 4 to 5 years. Something akin to a beta. There's so much going on with Star Citizen that they'll want to expand, and we're talking not just sort of gameplay features that are sort of essential for it in tech. We're also talking about core features like physicalized components and things like that. It's going to take a while to get them all in and they're tested and everything working together, and then to have something akin to a beta is going to take like 4 years. So the issue that Cloud Imperium have with these massive studios that they've got is that they've got the studio and the space, but they need to fill it with talent and devs. Yeah? So when they're starting to get more and more devs at all their studios, they're also going to start to have a bit of dev turnover as more people move to different industries or to different studios or whatever for various reasons. And they're going to have they'll have at least a moderate amount of employee turnover while trying to hire in a time where a lot of people want to work from home, and CIG do not want them to work from home as far as I'm aware, because they've got this obviously big office that they sort of want to encourage people to be in. I say CIG don't want them to work from home. We've got interviews where they've talked about the new building, where they're like, yeah, we're encouraging, we want our staff to work from the office because it encourages them to work together and share ideas and sort of get those creative juices flowing. So it's in a weird time where lots of people do want to work from home, and I think CIG are going to have... It is going to be a problem that they need to solve, attracting the right talent at the right price for the project. Because they also want to keep costs down as well. Any insight into the Hull D? Obviously, the Hull A should be out pretty soon, and they've sort of got the morphing physics grids tech working for that. So that should then allow them to do the Hull C, and then move on to the Hull D in the not too distant future. Would you record snippets of the event and give us an edited summary of the event? Potentially, yeah. So I'll definitely be using the event to ask some questions of devs and get some information if I can. I don't want to overly barrage them with questions or anything like that. I do want them to comfortably share their opinions and talk to backers and stuff and enjoy themselves. I don't want it to be like they're effectively at work. It's going to be their weekend. They're going to volunteer to come if they want to come, and hopefully get some drinks bought for them and about to have a chill experience. Well, obviously, I know they will also get bombarded with questions, but I hope that's sort of like in a way that they enjoy rather than like, oh god. So I don't want to overly do that. But yeah, I will certainly also be using it for a bit of an opportunity to get some ideas about content, talk to people, maybe get some questions answered. I'll see if maybe we'll try and get a panel done there. I would like to do a pub quiz there, Star Citizen pub quiz, things like that. Hello. Thank you very much for everyone joining me. It's very much appreciated. Do you think the subscriber perks are any good? I cancelled mine, as I've not seen the point to it lately. It depends on the reason you subscribe. So perk-wise, are you enjoying the perks? Pretty much that. Like, if you're just after the sort of subscriber flare, then you sort of pick and choose when to sub. But if you're sort of subscribing because you want to support video content and then have a bigger say on that stuff, and then maybe get access to patches earlier, things like that, well, then maybe there is a reason to sort of sub, but sort of up to you. I sub on and off, like, quite genuinely. I do think people in 2952 listen to music of the 20th century. I mean, there'd certainly be, because of the nature of the internet now, there'd certainly be records, even in 1,000 years' time, hopefully, as long as we're not wiped out. Even if we are, I suppose, as long as we haven't reduced the planet into lava, there'll still be records of everything. So, I think people would still go to the movies. There'll be loads of stuff. People like going out, and they like the theatre experience, because that's the sort of things that humans like. So I think there'd obviously be things like the theatre, there'd be the opera. I am very much looking forward to Salvage in 3.18, even if it's basic. Our power's been off since 6 PM, and all the food in our fridge has gone off. No hot water or heating either, as we're electric. Please keep me sane until it's fixed tomorrow. Are you watching me on your phone then? Or have you got just a battery and laptop? Simkill, I'm so sorry. That's awful. Sorry, man. Hope you hope that gets sorted for you ASAP. That's a horrible situation to be in. Will Squadron 42 have? And so, where are you in the world that's happened? Are you somewhere in the UK? Are you elsewhere in the world? Will Squadron 42 have an impact on the persistent universe, other than some developers jumping over, or is it some standalone thing? So, Squadron 42, Episode 1, takes place before the current time in Star Citizen, but your character that you make there can be effectively ported over to the persistent universe, so it's close enough to it. You're in the military, so completing or getting to certain parts of Squadron 42 will give you access to potentially purchasing or getting military gear, things like the F8 Lightning in Star Citizen's persistent universe. So you're like, oh, now I can actually buy this in game because I have military contacts, things like that. We're talking about tangible development things. So the current development sort of strategy is that they develop a gameplay loop or feature or whatever, then that will get put in the Squadron 42 development branch, get refined, make sure it's not released in isolation, so there's actual tangible gameplay to it, or enough associated gameplay that they can then put it in the persistent universe. So that gets it more refined and more fleshed out before going to the persistent universe. Once Squadron 42 is completed, that will represent most of the core of Star Citizen being done, so like combat and physicalized components and all this sort of jazz, which will then be in the persistent universe. And then there's going to be a lot more devs working on persistent universe features and further fleshing out the MMO experience. So obviously they are going to be looking at doing Squadron 42 episode 2 and 3, which are going to be effectively standalone AAA games, but sort of carrying on from the Squadron 42 episode 1 story. Originally, there were going to be like sort of just mission discs for it, but obviously that's expanded somewhat. I'm just how horrible it would be to have your power cut off. Ugh. Anyone had issues with a missing Redeemer engine? Mine's busted since Xenothreat. Can't fix it. Oh, that's rough. I don't know about that particular issue, Nexus, unfortunately. Obviously, check what was supposed to check the support page just in case there's a fix for it. I mean, it might be like resetting your account. It might be, yeah, you need to do this and then reclaim your ship. Or might be something that they fix in the next patch. Question, not about the new patch, but just in general, what is the minimum GPU I need for running the game smoothly on a 1440p monitor? Probably a 3060 sort of area now. I think that's probably reasonably fair to say. 3060 territory. Already get you an okay frame rate at 1440p. Maybe you need to go a little bit above that to like 3060 Ti or 3070, but I think 3060 is probably sort of borderline for that. Oh, I appreciate the love, Summer Yeti. I appreciate the moderator love. You do a lot for me for nothing in return. Literally less than nothing. You get nothing. But what your time converts in. Thank you. Yeah, so obviously Chris is in the UK at the moment, I believe, helping finish out Squadron 42, and Disco's either moved to the UK, already in the UK, or moving into the UK soon. So a lot of the content and a lot of the operations are just going fully UK. But I mean, their studio that they've got coming in, I believe, May, is massive. It is 1,000 devs. It's got space for 1,000 devs, which they want to expand to over the next, I think, 3 years. It's one of the other things I was talking about. Why will it take like 4 or 5 years for a beta? Why do I think that? Well, it's because they need to train staff as well as get the staff, and it's just so many staff. Banner Merchantman is getting lots of work right now. Yeah, it's in active development, that Banner Merchantman. We should see more and more of it every sort of few weeks. I would expect to see some more on Thursday. You're right about the new hires, and they're going to struggle with it without the work from home perk. I was a software dev in a different domain, and work from home is a must nowadays. Yeah, so it's okay. I think that work from home is good for some people, for some careers, and bad for others, and sometimes it's mixed based on the person. So you want a mix of it, in my opinion. However, not being able to come into the office full stop, that's a bad thing. Probably. I don't know. It depends on the situation, doesn't it? You want to be pretty dynamic with it. Did you watch Morph's video talking about, well, there'll be no Pyro this year? So I saw a little bit of it, but then I got distracted, so I do need to watch it. Lots of people have been saying that. So obviously, a lot of people have been saying, look, there's a huge portion of the developers now working on Squadron 42. How are they going to be able to get Pyro in? Well, a large proportion of Pyro is actually already done. They're not getting Ruin Station down for the first iteration. I do genuinely think there is a possibility that we will have Pyro by Q4 of this year, just because a lot of it was already done. There's a lot more that needs to be done, yeah. But Nyx is largely done as well. So obviously the Montreal studio is working on a lot of the gameplay area and stuff. There's still people at CIG, a good amount of teams working on the Persistent Universe and their content. It's just, you know, a lot of it is Squadron 42 focused now. When will I get my merchantman? I think it's unlikely you'll have it by the end of this year. Lots of people ask me. What's your PC spec? So I got a GeForce 3080. I've got 32 gigs of moderately fast RAM because I upgraded my processor to a 5950X. So like, do I have a 5950X or do I have a 59? CPU Z. Can't remember my specs on my PC. I'm tired. Right, no, just continue. Yeah, I got a 5950X. What is my RAM? It says it's... There's no way that's correct. I might not have turned the XMP profile on. It's supposed to be 3600 RAM. Why does it say my DDR4 RAM is running at 1200 megahertz? That does not sound like it's the XMP profile. It sounds like it's in a... Look at that in a minute. Look at that after I'm done on the stream. I've done something weird with my RAM. And then I've got anything important on M2 nice SSD drives. The redeemer issue can only be fixed by a character reset, apparently. Hatsune Miku, hello board. Do you think server meshing will still make it this year? So either server meshing or major parts of server meshing, like sharding or whatever. I'm hoping and I'm thinking it's a genuine possibility for Q4 of this year. I do think it is possible. I do think that is the goal. I do think it is the road to Pyro and them wanting to get Pyro in by the end of the year and server meshing in by the end of the year. I can't be certain of that though. Beware, the game can also be really demanding on the CPU. Yeah, so at the moment there's a lot of it's CPU heavy, a lot heavier than it should be. Starts to listen until they get sort of Vulkan integration and they sort of get the CPU and the Gen 12 renderer stuff in properly, which is coming over the next few patches. The CPUs will get more and more scalable, but at the moment it's not great. So one of the ways that CIG could potentially get a lot more devs is by, if other game studios go bust or whatever, they can basically grab other studios or grab devs in Exodus. You should have your Hull C later this year, in my opinion. So raising how many people have RAM without XMP enabled. But it was enabled. But, I mean, I've updated my BIOS and things like that since. And sometimes it resets and I haven't noticed. Do you think the refinery ship will be released with 3.17? That is a strong possibility, Chris. So I was assuming that the mobile refinery ship was going to be straight to flyable. Obviously, they've got refueling and fuel updates in 3.17. And that's going to be relatively major. So I think that's a strong possibility that mobile refinery ship could hit in 3.17. Yeah, obviously you are buying a PC and you're going, what components do I need? And you sort of want to make sure that you don't bottleneck anywhere. So RAM, CPU, and GPU are all important, as are to a good extent the motherboard and a good PSU. I always spend a lot of money on a PSU that is a high quality PSU because I don't want my PSU to explode. If lots of devs have moved on to Squadron 42 and everything is going through Squadron 42 devs before it goes to the PU, is there going to be as big a delay as feared? So, there's still stuff that's being worked on, and just because it goes through and is subsumed into Squadron 42 before being in the persistent universe doesn't necessarily mean longer delays overall. It just sort of adds another step that something has to get through, and it should actually get more fleshed out and refined before being in our hands. And obviously, a lot of devs are working on Squadron 42, so that process shouldn't be as long as you would expect. You see what I mean? Like not a huge sort of delay. But it could mean that a feature is that potentially in the older way that they used to do it could have been in the next patch, might be an extra sort of pushed to another patch. Not always. And there's still people working on specific Squadron 42 / Persistent Universe content, which is not necessarily related to each other. So the Persistent Universe stuff, they can keep on pushing more and more stuff into the Persistent Universe. It's not every feature that gets subsumed into Squadron 42 first. And do you think the Banner Merchantman will be held for Intergalactic Aerospace Expo? Hello to New York. I think that we'll see more about the Banner Merchantman at the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo and CitizenCon. I'm not pro DDR5 RAM yet. It needs to be more mainstream first. I'm not pro Windows 11 yet either, so. With the mole and other mining ships, we know if there's going to be possible to dump waste material. I think that is the plan. I think that's part of the way you manage the ship. Any words on land claims? No, nothing new on land claims yet. I do think there's something that they will suddenly go, and actually, we've got land claims for you. Do you think the Starfarer will have NPC missions, or do you think they will need to rely on refueling players on the first iteration? Refueling, almost certainly in the first iteration, it will be refueling players and just being able to make more money from cargo runs. But, I mean, they could have some extra fuel stuff in there as well. I'm expecting a bit of a fuel economy rebalance at the same time as 3.17, so. Recently, I had the Hull series will also be solo pilotable. Well, that's true of any ship, even like a Javelin or whatever. It's possible, but is it sensible? Will it be able to run cargo between stations and unload automatic? Would I need a Caterpillar to run cargo from the Hull station? So assuming that the station's got the appropriate facilities to be able to dock with the large ship, which it should have, you'll be able to pay to have that cargo unloaded for you, assuming they've got the facilities. And it might take some time and be at cost, but it should be viable. That's part of how they want the cargo to be, costs and times associated with loading and unloading. And you don't have to do it manually yourself. Windows 11 is a cluster. Yeah, well, so Windows 10 is now what I would deem an improvement over Windows 7. I did really enjoy Windows 7 for a long time, and it took me a while to move up to Windows 10. When I did, I was still sort of like a bit sad. And I was like, oh, it hasn't got all the features I want, and it's not supported in the way. But now, Windows 10, which I was told would be the last Windows they'd ever make, how's that turned out? Now I've just got like, actually I quite like Windows 10 now. Now they're being told Windows 11. Come on. Damn your eyes. What are your thoughts on the jump down power nav? So what Kind Imperium have said is that the moment they are testing variable payouts for jump down. Well, they're going to be testing various variable payouts for jump down anyway. They are going to have Maze in the future. The economy will sort of change the actual rate that you'll get per unit. So at the moment, they're sort of changing variable profits with the amount of crates produced and at what frequency, all that sort of stuff. And it's important they do that so they know how people react to it, and then they know how to tie it into the dynamic system, because eventually this is all going to be done dynamically and potentially semi-predictably, but the economy will affect it, and the players' actions will affect it. There'll be triggers to sort of turn these dynamic events on rather than a schedule for the most part. Some might be scheduled for reasons. But I think it's an important thing for them to test out. So I'm not sort of annoyed about it. Well, in 3.17, will it allow us to sell items? What kind of items? So the plan is that it will expand out selling to lots of different items. So pretty much anything that you can pick up in the game that you can put in your inventory, you'll probably be able to sell. But it's sort of more, at the very least, expanding to FPS weapons, FPS gear, FPS armor. So reasons to loot bodies and search around in loot containers. What else we got here? Thoughts on the Jumptown nerf without any warning or announcement from CIG? They should have put that post up before. So Klein and PM have since put up a post saying Jumptown variable profits and saying, look, we're testing a load of stuff. But they should have put a post up before. Because otherwise people are going to be giving feedback saying, stuff's changed. Is this a bug or a problem? Or what's happening? Oh no, we're testing different things. Okay, if you're testing it, tell us. Tell us that you're testing so that we can give feedback. Didn't mean to that come across as being rude. I didn't mean it to be quite so insulting there. Do you think they've completed the storyline for Squadron 42 chapters 2 and 3? So, as far as I'm aware, Squadron 42 is largely completed and playable to an extent, and then needs a huge amount more work, refining, making it pretty, fleshing it out, making the visuals work properly. So they sort of play it in sort of white, grey box, and completed. So the storyline, yes, completed. Voice work, 99% of the voice work will be done. They'll want some pickup lines for sure, and some additional mocap, yeah. Although they can do some hand keyed if they need to. Isco said he's moving in April, but he's over there right now. Yeah, it's, as far as I was aware, he's over there. Yeah, some people are annoyed at CIG for not being the best communicators all the time. That's true. It's a double-edged sword for that open development. But I think it's important that people go, look, CIG, communicate better. These are the things that we want to communicate. We say when we don't like when you've communicated poorly or haven't communicated enough. Bam. What else have we got? Hours of 2019. Then it's definitely coming in 2020. Must be coming in 2021, guys. Boys, it's coming out in 2022. Same shit every year. Well, don't worry. We've got Salvage in later on this year, right? Got Salvage, right? I hear a lot of people counting CIG's money and looking at CIG's roadmap. And let's look at these content creators' income and their roadmap and see how they like it. What? What's going on? I want to see his roadmap. What does Morph's roadmap look like? So I don't understand the context of that, unfortunately. I love your sketch therapy, though. You're a beautiful boy. Mate, we got chicken bones now. We got bones. So when we're trying to work out what's going to be in the next patch, get the bones. We get the bones and we throw them, and then we read the bones. And I can tell you that Pyro may or may not be in Star Citizen later this year. Bam. See? Accurate. Server meshing was announced in 2016, right? They probably talked about it then. Yeah. It just feels like they keep on pushing it back. They're not pushing it when they're working on it. It's quite a big undertaking. There's a lot of stuff and services that needs. We're kind of in too deep now and have to trust them. Do you trust them? So I trust that they're going to make a good game, or at least attempt to. And I do think that there's a lot more work involved with a lot of this that they didn't foresee. But I do think they are forming solutions for it, continuing to work on it, continuing to refine it, and it is taking longer than anyone expected, including them. But I do trust them to do it. It is going to be a long slog, and there may be other bumps in the road, especially when they're not showing the road. Not fully, anyway. And when the road is Chris Roberts? Carmen San Diego wants to know. Yes, so Chris, in my opinion, I would like to see Chris at least once a quarter. And he has been pretty AFK for the last 18 months, right? I don't think that's appropriate. I want to see him more. I've noticed that shots per gun before recharge changes with the number of guns powered on. Yes, so it's the amount of power and your sort of power that you put into those systems divided between all the guns. Is this a gun limit or ship limit, and can be affected with? It can be affected with you changing the guns. So if you put different weapons on there, that would change it. If you put ballistics on there, obviously that would be more power for your guns. And in the future, when we have larger power plants that literally have more power to allocate, then yes. Hope this makes sense. After seeing the explanation from CIG about the roadmap change because of noise coming from the community due to expectations created not only from the roadmap because of discussions and predictions from contractors like yourself, they didn't say that, but they did imply that, and others. Do you believe this to be true? Have you questioned if you should tweak the way you present and discuss the development and its upcoming features? No, so I've looked at some of my old videos and stuff. I do very much say this is the plan. This is what CIG I want to do. I do look at the roadmap and talk about it in a way that goes, these are the plans at the moment. This is what we're expecting. And this is based on what they're showing on the roadmap. So Cloud Imperium have made a rod for their own back. They've gone, look, when we say something's planned for this patch, we mean that it's 70% likely. That's what they said. 70% likely it will be in the patch. But stuff does move off, and there's a good chance that it will move off, and that often happens. And sometimes there's big, wide-scaling reprioritizations. They also did say that 70% likelihood it will be in a patch is only for the next proximate patch. So the next one out. And then beyond that, it's significantly less likely that they'll accurately know what's going to be in the patches. So we'll bear that in mind. Now, the reason they've said, look, we don't know what's going to be in the next patch ahead of time very well, because we don't know what the downstream teams are going to be able to finish. And also there's lots of work going on other things, and we'll know more what's going to be in a patch after the current one, the most proximate one's been done. Well, actually, we can work out what the feature's going to be. However, we can show you on the progress tracker all the things that our teams are scheduled to work on when those target dates end, and update that as and when we know more, which should be every sort of week or so, or every 2 weeks. So as long as they, with their progress tracker, give it more context and update it regularly, that's a relatively good source of information. Am I happy about them depreciating the release view on the roadmap? Because after 3.18, they're basically only going to show one major patch out in forms of release view of what features they got planned for that next patch. But they'll still be showing the progress tracker for a year plus. So I'm not massively happy about that, but it's not like the end of the world. It's not actually using it much, because at the end of the day, those patch features did change a lot as they got further and further out from the proximate patches and actually what they were able to do, and people did get annoyed about it. Now, what I would have liked to have seen from CIG is them just reiterate, look, we keep on saying that just because we've got a feature planned for two quarters down the line doesn't mean it's going to make it there. It means that that's where we're targeting, and that's where we're hoping it's going to be, and it is likely to change. But that's currently the plan. They should have said that. We know we're going to get criticism because of our open development, and it's fine. We like you holding us to account. We like you talking about it. But, I mean, at the end of the day, we are telling you openly that these patches and features, they might move around. These features and these patches might move around. They might not be where you expect them. They might not be where we expect them. And some stuff needs more work. We prioritize some stuff, and that gets obviously more and more unclear as it gets further and further out in forms of time. And they should, that's what they should have done. They should have also just reiterated that on the cards, saying targeted plans rather than just hopeful targets. And then also and they should definitely do this, whatever, give us more context on that progress tracker, tell us what the finishing of work on a particular feature means, and what it then leads to, what's the next step of that work. And once this work is done, this means, bam, this is complete, and the next work on this would be final art. Or just because the concept work is done on the Banner Merchantman does not mean the Banner Merchantman is released. Because the next stage would be this, and that is currently unscheduled. Do you see what I mean? So, apologies for that rant there. Why say apologies? I mean, I think a lot of you have joined just for this sort of rant. Do you think there will be an Alpha UEC wipe coming? I literally talk about it in the video that's coming out later today. No, so I think that we are moving into a stage where some wipes are more likely because of server meshing, database updates, economy rebalance, cargo refactor, lots of stuff like that, which make it much more likely that there will be wipes in certain patches. But Cloud Imperium are going to try to not wipe where possible. And they are much more able, even if they do have major changes in databases, to be able to save certain things. So you will see, obviously, wipes still in the future, but I don't think they're going to be super common. And we don't know if 3.17 is having a wipe yet, but I think it's unlikely at the moment. What ships will be restricted on landing on planets? And do shuttles make sense? So, I think there probably will be a hard limit to an extent, but I mean, technically you could land any ship on a planet. It's just then you might need to use tractor beams and other ships to help get them out if they're laden or the gravity is too much. So I do think it might actually be based on the landing zone. Did you know you can buy size 3 bombs on Orison? You can't equip them to a ship, but they're there. How dare you stream so early? Yeah, sorry. I was just sort of streaming to get it fit in with my day. Do you think we'll see the Banner Merchantman this year? I don't think it will be flyable this year, but I do think we'll see more and more of it every few weeks. Do you think we'll be able to buy the ships that were bought in-game? What? I'm a bit confused. I think that you'll be able to buy all ships in-game with in-game money. Or 99% of ships. I mean, like the Saber Raven and like a couple of promo ships, maybe not, but almost everything. This game beats any $45 game period. Yeah, so I've had a lot of love and fun out of my the amount of money I put into Star Citizen, and I put $3,000 in. I think that's and a lot of time, I suppose. Spent $400 in 2014 on Star Citizen. That's like $1,000 in for inflation. When you buy a ship, do you keep it after a new patch? Or is it... So, okay, if you buy a ship in-game with in-game money, yeah, with Alpha UEC, if there is a wipe, you will lose it. But you will keep it from patch to patch as long as there's not a persistence wipe. This is a persistent database reset. Whatever it's called. Obviously, they wipe your character info from patch to patch, so you have to like recreate the customization of your character. Although at some point they won't do that anymore. It's the actual asset wipes for ship and Alpha UEC wipes are much rarer. Changed my iron for a warden because the iron was nerfed to the ground. While nerfing, you guys haven't fixed the light of it. The interior of the warden. Oh, gone. So I'm also an ion owner, and I'm sad of the and upset about the ion being changed so drastically. I do think that's annoying. I do think it will get some changes and tweaks and balance in the future, though. So I do think it is not as intended yet, because they had to go, you know what, we have to balance this so not all ships can be just sniped out by good players just really easily. That was happening. When do you think they'll sort out the controls on wheeled and tracked ground vehicles? There is going to be a physics and ground vehicle rework, and so I'd expect them to do it then. You can't upgrade rentals. That is correct. I don't mind people too much swearing in chat as long as they're not being uncivil. You can swear and you can be rude. It'd still be civil. Do you see what I mean? Corsair Q4 or 2023. So, Corsair is in active development, isn't it? Yeah, I think it is. I think we might see the Corsair this year. Progress tracker. Let's go here. Course. So the work on the Corsair that they currently got planned. The vehicle experience team and the US content. They're all getting involved. So the various sprints of work are currently planned to end August in Q3 this year. So yeah, it's quite possible we could see the Corsair in Q4. Corsair for the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, no doubt. Yeah, quite possibly. Quite possibly. I still feel burned by the 400i. I mean, I like the look of it. Wait until we have rivers. You'd be sailing that thing like a canal boat. It'd be fine. My main ship now is the Ares Inferno. What a beast! I do like the. I still love the idea of the Ion. It just needs some love. I'm a sweet summer flower. That is true. I mean, the Inferno's cool. I mean, the Inferno works, at least as intended, for the most part. What have they broken with mouse relative mode? It's unplayable at the moment. The mode where you fix your aim and move to turn your ship. So, it depends on the ship you're in, but it's not as good as it used to be, for sure. Kaniak, thank you very much for the sub. Very much appreciated, sir. Are you legend? 12 months. 10 months in a row as well. 12 months. It's a long time to be subbed to me. Any other major questions? So, I am playing a lot of Lost Ark in my spare time. That's chill. It's a nice chill game. Oh! Hopefully I can sort my weight out as well. And just diet a little tiny bit better again, because I've just been eating delicious food and being a bit lazier, and go for runs a bit more. Sort of reduced my runs from an hour a day to 15 minutes a day. Is not ideal. Polaris should be going for the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. Quite potentially. I'm expecting to probably see it at the IAE or CitizenCon. So what I'm going to do is, once we're done on the stream, I'm going to grab a cup of tea. Check on my mother, and then hopefully confirm the venue for my bar citizen, and then get some stuff up about that, and announce that, and then later this week get a travel pack up for that, and the tickets up for that. So travel pack basically says, there's hotels here, they're cheap, come down to here, If you want to get from here to here, go here. And sort of the details on that. I'll do 2 waves of tickets effectively. I'll keep some tickets back so that people can buy them effectively for their friends, but it's going to be very cheap for the tickets. It's like a literal nominal fee, just so that I can make sure that we don't have too many people or too few. Like there shouldn't be a problem because it'll be in the middle of Manchester and I'll run it whatever. Even if it's just me and a load of devs getting drunk, I don't care. You have a fully crewed Idris and Polaris. That's pretty much a full server at currently at the moment. Am I wrong? Yeah, we have a fully crewed Idris. It's a full server, really. I mean, you have a lot of people in there. I think they said they've had 70 players or 70 NPCs running around an Idris, and it feels empty. What do the bones say about Squadron 42? They say Squadron 42 this year. It's not even answering me. It's just very likely. Very likely. There you go. Easy game. Yeah, sorry, I didn't sleep very well. So I've been going to bed pretty late because I've been playing Lost Ark into the night. I've been waking up early because I can't sleep very well when I'm sort of... I've been stressed recently. There's a lot going on admin-wise in the home. And obviously also just a bit stressed in general. It's getting the end of the financial year as well, which is tax. A load of my crypto. So don't take financial advice from me, especially at the moment. All my crypto's sort of like gone down hugely, and so it's like money that I could have sort of wanted to invest in, and that I've been made over the last like 3 years. Like lost half the value of it. That's not great. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, eh? Still got you guys. Still got Starset's got the channel. And we could play games. It'd be fine. It'll be fine. Just we should be able to exchange every ship in the same price class. Or what do you guys think? So when you're in game, eventually you'll be able to sell your ships and buy new ones with the money and get the in-game money. Do you think we'll have ship sharing in the next year or two? So there's questions about that Cloud Imperium will answer on Friday about organization features, I think, anyway. There's questions about it, and they're highly upvoted about organization features, permission systems, the ability to loan out or give permission for other people to use your ship while you're offline. Well, CIG putting all the devs into Squadron 42. Do you think they should focus on the main game and get that working? Well, that does represent... Squadron 42 does represent a huge portion of the core gameplay for Star Citizen as well. I mean, they are... they share that. And it's not all the devs, it's just a large portion of the devs are working on that. So they're obviously also getting more and more devs. CIG are expanding. Din's not here, I don't think. No, she's working on a video at the moment. I had to double check. What? I will start bringing her into some of these live streams. She's sort of semi-camera shy occasionally. She's an aloof, ephemeral. What's the current best one-seater medium fighter? Been wanting to get something more reliable to run. So I think there's some debate about that. Obviously, Hornets are on a lot less at the moment. I really like the Sabre still. I think the Sabre is actually pretty fun to run. Have any stick figure barman been assaulted recently for defending Star Citizen as not a scam? What? Star Citizen is demonstrably not a scam. I can say that. 'Cause 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 I can say that Do you retain store-bought armor when you die? Was it on your body? When you die, you lose the things that you are literally holding and carrying with you. You have to purchase those again. I buy lots of armor sets and lots of weapons and put them on space stations or on planets and then grab them when I die. Do you think we have ship sharing in that? Yes, we talked about that earlier. Boop, boop, boop. No worries. I'm here to answer questions and chats. Could you give your thoughts on how CIG is going to present painting your own ship when they've sold so many skins? So I think they have two ways of doing it. I think they're going to have customization where you basically go to a ship shop and you can paint some set patterns in different colors on ships. Yeah? They're also going to have skins which will be slightly different from that you can just apply to ships with presets that will give you slightly different looks beyond that. Maybe some colors that aren't available, maybe some configurations of patterns that aren't available. It's not going to be free-form painting, and it's literally going to be within presets of what you can paint and where. Maybe also decals. I expect to see both, especially when it comes to intricate design for skins. Do you think they will give us mannequins that we can put bases and hangars in bases and hangars to display weapons and armor? Yes, almost certainly. Video suggestion: showcase system and mechanic that can only be found rare in Star Citizen. What? I'm a bit confused. Are you talking about gameplay mechanics that can only be found in Star Citizen? I'm Star Citizen original in certain mechanics and gameplay. This could only happen in Star Citizen. What else have we got? Anything else? How would you like Squadron 42 to play? How would you like... What? I'm looking forward to Squadron 42. Very much so. I'm hoping it's sort of like on the same level as Half-Life 2 was for me, where it's like... Really enjoyed that. Hope you are good, J-Bird, mate. 5:30 for you. Well, I'm going to be stopping streaming pretty soon. I love you, J-Bird. It's pretty appreciate you turn up even so early. You monster. What is this footage? So this is from CitizenCon last year. And is the Pyro outposts. Some gameplay associated with that. Which we should hopefully have later this year, maybe. But it's my cut of the gameplay and some other footage in there. Leave my cut, Zin's cut. Everyone likes a good NordVPN commercial. Some people watch my content just for that now. Yeah, lots of people still play solo Star Citizen. Yeah. I love multi-crew. I love solo. You sort of do both. Right. Any other questions, quick? So, currently in a free fly, so people can try Star Citizen for free. If anyone becomes purchases a $40 or more package as well during that, the person that referred them and them and themselves get some armor and a weapon instead of a ship. So obviously the referral bonuses used to be for ships or bikes or whatever, small ships. Now we've got an armor and weapon, so it'll be interesting to see how people react to that. I think a lot of people are going to be getting that. We do have Jump Town. We do have as an event to do. Obviously they've done some things to the prices and they're testing out some more variable elements for Jump Town at the moment. We've got Ninetales Lockdown as well, which is actually pretty refined now and pretty good fun. There's much more likely that you'll have PvP in Jump Town and the Ninetales Lockdown than you would at Xenothreat, so sort of bear that in mind. Do you think selling to shops will increase selling in-game purchase ships at some point? Will include? Yes, at some point, yes. 100%. When is the 3.17 patch? Should start to see it go to like PTU and testing mid March, and then the sort of open PTU live at the end of March. Thanks for the stream, York. I appreciate the love. Thank you, thank you. I wonder if the docking rings on the raft and the Cut Red will serve a purpose. I believe they will. What else we got? Anything else there? I think if there's anything I want to talk about. Bonus, Jump Town. There's some ships on sale for Jump Town. Still combat ship stuff. Get it in game. Is there anything interesting in the roadmap last week? Let's have a look. Let's bring this up on screen. So they confirmed that salvage that they've got planned for 3.18 is ship salvage, so the Vulture being able to salvage ships, hull stripping, as well as hand-based salvage, hull stripping, and repair. So that's kind of pretty good. They've committed ship refueling, mining gadgets, selling items to shops, local hospital, coffee shop vendor, and the head updates for 3.17. Hopefully that will see some deeper customization for characters as well. But we saw like eyelashes and eyebrows and things. Matthew, thank you very much. Do you think we'll get an option to select to go to Pyro in the main screen if server meshing does not work or come this year? So if they get sharding in and say, well, actually, we're going to release Pyro with some network updates and sharding rather than static server meshing, then yes, I would expect that to see that as a potential choice. However, we're not getting Ruin Station in the first iteration of Pyro. So maybe even if they did release Pyro in that fashion, they would still have to start in the standing system, but you'd be able to move over to Pyro. Getting some extra modular stuff for space stations so that you have variations on clinics, and there was a load of stuff added to the progress tracker. A lot of it's sort of stuff for sharding and server meshing, updates to Lawville eventually, to the Escape. The RSO Polo got added to the progress tracker, as did the Tumble Ranger, so you can see lots more of these ships and bikes later this year. Big archetypes, we know that they're sort of adding a sandy one and a snowy one and things like that. So there's lots of stuff coming. So hopefully 3.17 will actually be a nice solid patch. Because currently, really, we're not really 3.16.1. We're 3.15.2. Because we're technically in the 3.15 branch of the game, because they didn't branch off to 3.16. They sort of manually added features. So let's hope that 3.17 doesn't see lots of bugs or problems because of that. Do we have any idea how the docking collars will work? I'm assuming that they'll one ship will dock with the other. So docking collar extend to the other ship, clan, docked with. But maybe they'll both come out. We'll have to wait to see what they've got planned for ship-to-ship docking. But the ship-to-station docking and the docking arm even for the Starfarer to other ships, fuel arm, and the Caterpillar to P-52 docking are all sort of steps towards that. But thank you very much for the donations and the subs. That's genuinely very appreciated, and for people that joined us today. How long did it take for you to make one of those ship manufacturer videos? It takes in some time. I don't know. So I say, Zin, when you're not working on any other specific videos, can you do a lore video? She's able to get one out a week comfortably. So it probably takes her maybe 15 hours of work, maybe 20 hours of work. It's hard to tell. I run a pretty loose ship when it comes to sort of time. As long as the work gets done at some point within a deadline of later that week, sort of thing for all this stuff, it's sort of pretty chill. So one of the good things about the sort of viewership I have and donations and subscribers and stuff is that it affords that we don't have to run it like a super tight stressful operation. We can cover Star Citizen for the next 5 years comfortably, without being like, ah! Okay, there are some times of the year around like CitizenCon and the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, and sometimes around Christmas. Well, yeah, it's a bit more hectic and more going on, but CAD should not be able to sell more ships before they make them once they sold 5 years ago. So they are making more and more ships actually flyable, and they are reducing the technical debt of those ships quite significantly. There are some really old ones, like the Banner Merchantman, which they are making, and it's in active production. I know, I understand, but they are able to do both. They are able to reduce that technical debt by getting them out, and they genuinely are, as well as make more and get them in-game flyable. These live comments don't count towards the giveaway, correct? That is correct. The live comments do not count towards. It's only uploaded videos. It's only my videos that I make each month that are part of the giveaway. Because I can't grab the comments out of these live streams easily. Because basically what I do is I random number generate what video is used for the giveaway beep, at the end of the month. And then from that, it gets everyone's name that commented on the video. Doesn't matter if they commented 1,000 times in that particular video, you'd only take their name once, and then basically random number generates on that. And it goes, comment number 212 one, which is this one. Nice and simple. Probably I could have a much more refined way of doing it, but it works. It works pretty well. One time when I couldn't get the number generator doing anything, it wouldn't function. I used one online. I literally said, Sin, choose a number between 1 and 32. Choose a number between 1 and 314. I had to remove my comment from that. Well, that could just re-roll if it was my comment in it. Make sure you cash in all your refinery work orders before the 3.17 patch. Yes, because things like that, the refinery orders that you've got currently they are likely to get wiped when a new patch comes in. So yes, that is a good bit of advice. Also, take all the items off your ships. So cargo, any custom sort of weapons and components, because that sort of stuff gets confused. I appreciate all the love. Thank you so much. That's very much appreciated. I do appreciate the means and get constantly bombarded by kind messages. Yes, I'm going to dash off, get a cup of tea, try and get a venue confirmed for my Bar Citizen, get a video out in the next couple of hours, and then roll on the rest of this week. Interested to see how that pre-fly goes, how Jump Town goes. Ninetales Lockdown. Obviously, we've got a sprint report later, and really interesting on Friday with the PU gameplay guys talking about various gameplay features. Hopefully, they'll be able to answer a lot of questions that people have. So, when will they make trade great again? I'm hoping that 3.18 sees big sort of trade updates with that cargo refactor. Let's see who else is streaming. And I'll chuck you on one of their channels, or recommend a channel you to go to, at the very least. I'm going to chuck you. Who's this person? Who's this? I'm going to throw you a Galactic Tactic. I've only seen stream once before, I think. Yeah. Someone random. So we got target channel has disabled raids. Well, they're not getting it then. How dare they? We've got 2 angry gamers. What are they doing? Oh, they're going to be... Yeah, I'm going to chuck you over to 2 angry gamers. It's going to be perfect. Don't worry. Boop. No worries. Thank you very much for watching. Give the 2 angry gamers some love. As you should. And if you've got any feedback, you can drop me an email at contact@boredgamer.co.uk. You can get me in my Discord. I'm always interested in hearing what you want to see, where you want to see it, what you want to do. Genuinely appreciated. It helps me get the videos for my channel. Yeah, I'm pretty tired. But let me grab this and put this over here as well, so you can see. Thank you very much, guys. Very much appreciated if you joined me today. You take care.